Alright guys, today I want to talk to you about how to maximize profit by using the Hideout. And by that I mean what you're going to use each of these, like what, in my opinion, you should use each of these Hideout options, trade options, and crafting abilities to benefit you and for your gameplay. Alright? First off, we're going to start with the biggest thing. This is the one thing that takes the longest to get to, but once you get there, it will start to pay for itself instantly. The Bitcoin farm is one of the last things you basically can make for this. And once you get to 50 out of 50, it takes the initial investment to get into this is super expensive, obviously. But once you get to 50 of 50, you are able to make Bitcoins every 5 hours. And the reason why that's so big, especially for like when you start to hit in game, or if you can't play every day, all day, like maybe me or other people can, what happens is every 5 hours you're generating 110K, or 1 Bitcoin out of 30 that are needed for a thick weapons case. And if you don't know what a thick weapons case is, it is one of these little bad boys right here. The thick weapons cases can be sold for somewhere around 3.2 to 4.3 million rubles, which will be plenty enough for you to go in full kit for quite a while. It currently takes 30 Bitcoins. You generate 3 Bitcoins every 15 hours. So every 150 hours, you're going to have a free thick case once this is maxed out. I've had this maxed out for probably about a month and a half now, so you can imagine how many thick cases, if I've been collecting these Bitcoins every 5 hours, how many of these I've made and resold. I've only held on to 2. One of those I got with a quest. You also get one of these from a quest. Do not, and I repeat, do not sell the one from your quest, and do not sell the other thick eye case, the storage case, for money. That is something that it takes a lot of money to generate and buy, right? So it'll be at least 15 million to buy a new one, or 10 or 15. So do not sell these initially. Same thing with the eye cases as you get them. Once you get more and more and more, then yeah, sure. But initially, to help you alleviate your stress and storage space, you want to hold on to these items early on. The next thing I want to go over is we're going to go over what is worth making in this bad boy right now. So in the hideouts, what I value most for making is always going to be moonshine, right? Moonshine's 100% worth it in my opinion. Sometimes when you do these scav cases, you get bad stuff, and other times you get really, really good stuff. I've made over 1 million rubles from a turn-in once. So like right now, we didn't really get much. However, the advantage of doing the scav case is that if you find a rare item that you needed, like say a tank battery or something else that you can't find in reserve and you need that for a quest, everything these scavs bring you is marked as found in raid. And that's why this is huge, right? Because if you needed a quest item, or say you needed one of those streamer loot items that are required for your Kappa container, this is one of the easier ways to get those without actually having to find it in the world. I've also gotten lots of good weapons from here and all these other things. I don't value these other ones as being worth using. I used this one for a while. I didn't get anything from it, right? When I didn't have moonshine available, I was using these. Wasn't worth it for me. I have yet to use this. Don't think I will because I still haven't finished my Christmas tree yet. So we're going to wait on that. Next thing I want to tell you guys about is the laboratory. So this is your magazine cases. Once you get to a certain point with your laboratory, you're able to make magazine cases. This requires metal scissors, only 1, 2 of the expeditionary or the blue fuel containers, 3 bolts and 3 nuts. Initially, when I first got to this, I was able to sell these for about 350K a pop. Now I just vendor them to therapists, because I would lose money by posting them as opposed to just selling them to therapists. And I believe when we sell these to therapists, it is still for, let me see if I have one that is not being used. Well, it'll sell for close to 290K, right? So every time you make one of these, that's 290K. That's about a full loadout for a raid, right? And that's every 5 hours. So these are items that I like to pick up in raid exclusively because I know that that is always going to make me money, right? I don't always focus on bringing out armor and guns because armor and guns aren't really worth as much as you think in the long run, right? Because these small items you take out for these hideout objects that you're going to be creating, as well as trading in for like weapons cases and other weird oddities, those are going to give you more money in the long run, right? So you have shampoo and bleach. Shampoo and bleach is something I pick up every now and then, or I'll make when I cannot, or when I don't have the objects to make this. Reason for that is it makes a piece of armor, and especially if you're a newer player, it's worth it. It makes a armor called the TV. It's a tactical rig. So this one right here. It makes the TV 110, right? I'll show you where it's at exactly. So it's right here. You can do one of these every 3.5 hours, right? Every time he refreshes. And these sell to, like at the current stage of the game where I'm at and where everyone else is, a brand new one of these will vendor to Skier for 61K, roughly around 61K, which is not bad money. If you're not going to use this, you can make 60K out of it, and all it requires is, 4 or 5 bleach and 2 shampoos. Worth it, 100% worth it. If you want to make money, this is worth it, right? Next thing I would like to go over with you guys is the med station. Med station is huge when you're starting out in the very beginning, right? When you're first starting the game and you're playing early on, these I wouldn't focus on, but your Sewillas. You need Sewillas for a quest for therapist early on, and if you're able to make them, that's going to speed up the whole process because they're not hard to find in raid. But when you're a newer player, it can be extremely hard to find, especially if you're not sure where to find them at. Common places that these are going to be located in is med bags. They're going to be located on medical shelves. They're going to be on players for the most part. That's what you're hoping to find. Most players are either using these or they're going to be using your IFAKs. But early game, you're going to be making a ton of these because these will stop blood loss and they'll heal you at the same time. Then you come on to this one. This one's really good too. I mean, this takes up 1 slot instead of 2. And as you start to get mid-game, you're going to start to be able to make these. All it requires is 2 piles of meds and 2 army bandages. You can buy these army bandages from therapists for 1,100 rubles. And once you get to where I'm at end game, you're able to actually hoard these, and I can sell about 20 of these at a time at 18K or 180 USD each to fund, my gear or anything else that I need. Because once you start to play with like higher tier gear, what ends up happening is you don't die as much, right? And once you start to learn the maps, you start to do all these things, you die a lot less. So I start to come out with 4 or 5 or 6 of these IFAKs. Then, you know what I'm saying? And then I can just sell these for profit every time. The next thing I would like to mention is making these Sewillas is also good because, splints, bandages, these are all really easy to find. And don't get me wrong, bandages and the cheese packs are good initially when you start playing, but you're going to want to take less room, right? You want less room so you can take out more valuable items. And that's why the Sewilla is huge for early on when you're mid-game and you're healing. It heals faster. It does multiple things at once, right? Same with the IFAKs. And that's one thing I cannot stress enough is these type of healing materials. I see a lot of players who are still playing the game and they're in like the mid-30s and they're still using just regular bandages in these. It's not worth it. I mean, you can do it, but you're losing slots. Maybe they're hoping for an upgrade from a player they kill or something. That could be it too. You know, and everyone has their own play style, but this is from my experience and what I would do if I were you. Propital. This takes Golden Star and ibuprofen. So if you guys don't know anything about these, both of these are really good items, right? These sell for about 18 to 20K a piece, brand new. Like if they're maxed out, like 12 to 12. Same here. These sell for about 20K maxed out as well. But that doesn't matter, right? What really matters is the Propital. Propital, awesome. This is you're going to need a lot of these eventually as you progress. Once you try to get through Jaeger's quest lines, he's going to have a quest that requires tremors and headshots. A lot of times, in order to get this quest done, what I would do is I'd pop Propital before entering Shoreline. I'd bring 2 Propitals, one in my Gamma, one on me. I'd pop it right before I go into a building. And once these things wear off, your pain and everything, it's going to start kicking on hand trimmers and tunnel effect for 60 seconds, hand trimmers for 300. Then it'll kick in the pain. The thing with the pain is it doesn't matter, because what you do is you bring painkillers with you. You will get rid of the pain, you'll keep the tunnel effect and the hand trimmers, and then you'll have a complete 300 seconds of hand trimmers to try to land headshots on little hatchlings or other players that may be inside those buildings. So if you guys wanted to learn how to get those trimmers knocked out real quick, this is the best method. The other thing that's cool about these is these sell for about 12K. You can vendor them about 12K each. So that's quite a bit of money. It's about 80K. So you're actually making really good money, especially if you're finding all these in raid. It's free money. I cannot stress that enough. Right now I'm holding on to these because I'm trying to make an eye case that I can sell. All right. The next thing I want to go over with you guys is the nutrition station. Next thing I want to cover is the nutrition unit. So the nutrition unit is huge. So back when I first started playing, or when this first actually came out, the Hideout first came out, sugar was upwards around 60 to 80K. And they gave us an option to use 2 chocolate bars to make 1 sugar. That, if you find chocolate bars, which are very common in raid, you're basically, whatever sugar is valued at, value those at half of that. So right now, sugar is roughly around 40K a pop. Each one of those chocolate bars for 1 slot is 20K rubles, right? So for loot prioritization, if I were you, I would be taking out chocolate so that you can make sugar, so that you can make moonshine, so that you can get free weird gifts from your scavs every now and then, right? That is one of the things I would recommend making throughout your nutrition. If you want to maximize profit from nutrition every time it's up and available, that's what I would do. The next thing would be making Wilston cigarettes. So 17 Wilston cigarettes will actually make you a M1A SAS through mechanic. You can make you can buy like 1 or 2 of them per 3 something hours. It's a lot of cigarettes initially, but here's the other thing. These cigarettes, when made through here, will also work towards a quest for your Wilston cigarettes that you're going to need eventually once you guys get to that quest. I cannot remember the name of the quest. I guess I could research it, but it's through I think it's through mechanic. You need like 10 of these. So save this tea, and you don't really need to hoard the Apollo cigarettes because they're super cheap. You can buy them off the auction house for like 2-3K rubles. But the tea is very hard to find in raid. So you want to focus on these items for loot priority if you have an idle nutrition unit that's running. Next thing I want to go over is your air filtration unit. Once you're able to make this bad boy, you want this running 24/7, right? So each of these FP100 filter absorbers are roughly around 165 to 200K. Sounds like a lot. However, with the amount of XP you're gaining per raid. So every time I'm running, I'm getting 40% more. Every time I jump, I'm getting 40% more XP. Everything I do physically is going to give me faster experience. And if you don't know what that means, if we were to go to our skills, go to your physical, all of these level up 40% faster. Endurance maxed out. Once you max out your endurance, that's huge. I had max out endurance in an early wipe, and basically what it does is it allows you to flank. Once you're 51 endurance, you can run full sprint, and once you stop, it will completely regenerate in like 2 to 3 seconds or something crazy like that. And then you're able to just continuously run over and over and over. It's fucking crazy. Strength, cannot tell you how awesome this is. Well, as you level this up, you can jump higher, you can carry more weight. Melee power, no one gives a shit about that. Your sprint speed is increased. Look at that, 21% at level 14. And then you can throw frags further too. It's huge. So I cannot emphasize enough how important your hideout is, guys, and having these certain things running as much as possible, because when you're playing, these are the things that matter most, man. Like your vitality, your health, metabolism, stress resistance. Stress resistance not really so much, but strength and endurance, vitality. Vitality is awesome because when you lose a limb, like I've got a -6% chance of dying if someone shoots me in my leg and knocks it off. I might not die. Or my arm, same thing. So it forces players to have to shoot me in the head or chest more often than not. I don't even know what this does when it's maxed. I don't know what the max stats are, but when the game is finally released, these are all going to be huge stats in the long run, guys. So just in the beta, though, I would recommend this for now. If you want to progress faster, if you want to run faster, you want to be able to carry more weight before being encumbered, those are some things I would run. With that, guys, I'm going to end the video here. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Let me know what you didn't like. Give me some good criticism as well. Give me likes if you liked it, dislikes if you didn't. Tell me why you didn't like it so I can improve on the videos. Give me some creative and constructive criticism, or just do whatever you want. I don't care. I just want to know if I'm helping you, and if I'm helping you, let me know what you learned and how it helped you. And then maybe I can work around that and tailor videos to be more productive for all of you. All right, thank you guys.